Renanim, ¿cómo están? Hello, welcome back to another episode of Grace Daily. Glad to have you joining us today. We have been looking through Philippians chapter 4, verses 1 through 8 in preparation for our service on Sunday. Today, we are looking at verse 8 in particular, and it says this, "Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things." Today, we get back to our English word, think. But it is not the word in Greek that you think that it might be. We are not looking at phronete today. We're looking at a different Greek word called logizeste. And this word simply means to consider or to count towards, or I think this is my loose translation, so don't just go off of this, but as I've been looking at it and thinking over it, it has this idea of lingering on something, right? And so Paul kind of comes in today and he's summing up a big chunk of thought. And he's giving us a list of things that we should linger on, we should think about, that we should let permeate our mind. And so, I don't know, every now and then we use Febreze. I don't know if you've ever used Febreze, but if there's an odor in the air, or if a piece of, like sometimes in the truck, right, if the truck ends up not smelling great or whatever, you can spray Febreze onto it, and that Febreze will kind of soak into everything and make it smell good again. It permeates it, it lingers. That's the idea. We are living in a sin-cursed world. But when we look back at Genesis 3, God did not make it to be that way. God did not make the world messed up. God did not make the world ugly. And so, what we are to be doing, what we are being called to as Christians, is to look around this world that is marred by sin, but created by a beautiful God. And we are to be lingering on the good things that are still here. We are to look around creation. We are to look around the church. We are to look around our brothers and sisters in Christ, and we are to be lingering on, counting towards, considering, that's what this word can mean, all of these good, wonderful things. And so, as we close out, Paul, in this section, has kind of reminded us about a few ugly realities. He said, "I beseech Euodias and I beseech Syntyche, please be of the same mind, don't fight." A little bit later in the passage, he talks about don't be worried about anything. Take no thought, right? Or how is it phrased here? Be careful for nothing. Worry and fear is a real thing in this world because there's real difficulty. And then we're told that the peace of God will guard our hearts and minds. Well, why would it have to go to war? Because there are things that want to destroy our heart and our mind. And so, and then even before, throughout the other passages, Paul has been talking about people that are after them to deceive them. People that are out to preach the gospel out of spite rather than out of love. And so there's a lot in this ugly, sinful, scarred part of the world that is easy to think about and consider and to meditate on. And Paul is calling us to a higher thought process. And he's saying, here's a list of everything that I want you as a Christian to linger on. And so, my friends, this morning as we wrap up, I want us to look around. And we are to be looking at true things, at just things, at things that are lovely and beautiful, and things that are of a good report. This shows us our earthy existence that God has planned for us. God did not make us as Christians to become so spiritually that we float above the world and nothing bothers us. But rather, we are to be Christians that are engaged in the physical part of this world. We are to enjoy beauty, and therefore we are to make beauty. We are to enjoy justice and to linger on it, and therefore be just. We are to enjoy pure things. This word purity, it can have a lot of different things, but I don't like snow, but I like looking at the beauty of snow, the purity of it. As we consider how God makes beautiful, pure things like that, we are to be pure. We are to think about things that are honest and of a good report. We are to look around in this world and to find those things, to linger on them, so that we can reflect them as well. Because in reflecting that is ultimately reflecting. You can't find anything in this list that is not part of God's character. And so we are to be looking around this world for aspects of God's character. And we are to think on it, and be encouraged in it, and to act out those things that God is. And so, my friends, consider these things, and linger on them. Find the beauty, find the honesty, find the truth, find the loveliness, find the good report, and linger. Grace and peace.